Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of my new series called Eggciting Builds featuring me, Eggs. I'll try to keep this short and sweet, but in this series I'll be going through a variety of different hero builds that work really well and go completely unnoticed. Starting off today, we are looking at the most grody hero in the game, Batrider. Reading through these Batrider guides, they're all pretty much the same, and they're all really boring. They have you go items like Tranquils and Drum as your first items. The skill build also is very boring. I've played a lot of Batrider and I refuse to play it this way, so I schemed up a very different build. The build name that I have is called This Guy Feeds His Bat Hot Sauce, and I'm sure if you think about it you can figure out why I call it that. This build is a little bit different because it prioritizes using your Flame Break. Now, Flame Break is a really overlooked ability. The damage over time is small, and you need a lot of napalm stacks for it to be effective. But what you may not know about Flame Break is that the damage procs actually stack, similar to how Flux works and how old Nether Toxin actually worked. Now here's the important part. If you build correctly, you can have Flame Break on a 2.5 second cooldown. This is huge when the late game rolls around and the enemy's BKBs are running out. It will make the long drawn out fights so much easier for you and your team because you have constant damage on the enemy that will scale infinitely and will kill the squishier heroes while your carry or your mid kill the other heroes. I'll have lots of great clips with you guys at the end, so bear with me guys. Moving on into the item build. How this build is a lot different from every Batrider build is that I have you build Veil as your first item. Paired with regen from Clarities and Bottle, you can farm like crazy and kill anyone who shows up in your lane in seconds. Going BOTs as your second item allows you to split push the side lanes, regen in base, and show up to fights to help your team. The next item are pretty standard, going Blink to initiate, Force Staff to escape, a defensive item like Yules or BKB, and then lastly, Aghanim Scepter. Aghanim Scepter will 6-slot you, so purchase your Aghanim's Blessing to then buy an Octarine Core. The Octarine Core will bring your Flame Break cooldown to 2.5 seconds. And by the time you get Octarine Core, you will already be level 25. Lastly, like in one of the clips that I show you, you can also sell your Veil and upgrade it to a maxed out Dagon if you have the gold. A lot of pros like to do this, like on Timbersaw for example, just to give you that little bit extra burst to kill the enemies in the late game. Just it gives you more of an edge than Veil does at 60 or 70 minutes in the game. Okay guys, so I'll talk in depth about all the numbers and damage percentages, all that jazz, a little bit later on, so just bear with me here while we get through this part. The skill build is fairly normal up until the later levels. The talents are really what differ the most from most builds. You want to follow standard builds of going 3-1-1 into your ultimate. You want to max Napalm, then your Firefly, and then your Flame Break. At level 10, go Spell Amp. This will give you, paired with Veil, it'll give you 31% bonus damage. At level 15, the 2-second Flame Break duration, which will do 300 damage with only 1 stack of Napalm. The cooldown reduction at level 20, and the cooldown reduction on Flame Break at level 25. Without Octarine and the cooldown reduction, it brings it down to about 4 seconds. And with Octarine and the cooldown reduction, it brings it down to about 2.5 seconds. Okay, so now we'll talk numbers. So bear with me here. Okay, so every sticky napalm stack gives 25 bonus damage. So with only 4 stacks, you will be doing 100 bonus damage with all of your spells. This means close to 400 damage with Flame Break. With 31% Spell Amp from your Talent and Veil, you'll be doing almost up to 525 damage for each Flame Break. And remember, they stack. You can have almost 3 procs without Octarine, and so close to 4 with it, the third one just barely ends when you can get that 4th one off. All these numbers also do not include Spell Amp from your Intelligence, As a rough idea from the items you'll have in the late game, you'll have about a 10% spell amp from your intelligence at level 25. This brings it up, obviously, to about 41%. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you this in real time now. You got 2,500 HP axe here. He's got he's got 31% base magic resistance. I'm level 25 with all the according talents, all the according items, and at 20 minutes here, I'm gonna only using flame break, see how long it takes to kill this axe. 4 seconds here. Hold up. Okay, hit him with that, and go. Use my spells every time they come off cooldown. Okay, so that was 12 seconds. That is how long it took to do 2,500 damage to that axe. That's absolutely ridiculous how much damage that does. In the late game, that's so important. Like even the knockback on Flame Break is huge. When BKBs are at 5 seconds and you're sieging uphill, Bat Rider is a god, literally, and he's so underplayed. So don't keep this build in mind when you're playing him. Okay, I'm gonna now use this dummy. I have a I have a stopwatch here for 30 seconds on my phone. You're gonna hear my goofy ringtone when it goes off. So I'm gonna get started here. I'm gonna hit him with Veil. Oh, I punched him by accident, or I guess spat on him, but that's okay. Okay, it's off. Let's get him with Napalm. Start. Okay. Every time, 20 seconds. 800 damage in 15 seconds. It's just scaling like crazy right now. Okay, there's the timer. Time's up. Okay, so after all those are down and all those procs are gone, we did almost 3,400 damage with 100 damage per second on this dummy, only using Flame Break. I'm just going to check it out quick with using all spells. Again, no free spells are on. This is all just my cooldowns. We're going to get started here. So the cooldown for Firefly is going to reset. I am not going to reset it once the cooldown ends, so it's only going to be one use of Firefly. I reset my clock here. Okay, let's get with it. I'm going to hit him with that. Start. Let's get to it. Now keep in mind too, you can be doing more damage if you wait for a little bit for using Firefly until he has some napalm stacks. Okay, I'm going to hit him with that too to do some damage. Okay, Firefly's done. Okay, stop. Thumbs up. Okay, so after all these procs are gone, let's see how much damage we do. Then almost 4,400 damage, 120 damage per second. So we did about 1,000 more damage with our abilities, and we could even time those better. But my point is that Bat Rider is a ridiculous hero. He does so much damage, and he's underplayed. Get this shit out there. Play this hero. He is so strong. Okay, so lastly, how to use this build. In the early game, you want to be as aggressive as possible. Hopefully you're paired up with a support with a stun, so you can just run the enemy carry every time your cooldowns are up. So you'll notice that I am paired up with my friend on Tiny. We're going up against a Terrorblade and an AA, which is a super weak lane, which I was super happy about. I get 2 or 3 stacks on Terrorblade. He's playing really aggressive, and I just roll him over with Firefly. It's that simple. He died in under 5 seconds there. It was really fast. Another thing to consider too, which I did, wait until the support spells are on cooldown. That AA used Cold Feet to try and zone out the Tiny, and right after Cold Feet was down, I went on in to kill the Terrorblade, because at that point there's no way to save him. So it's really easy. Okay, this is a little bit of a longer clip, so just bear with me here. Once the enemy carry has been pushed out of the lane, take control of it and just push the tower. You'll notice Terrorblade is mid, so I noticed this solo AA, so I just easily killed him by myself. Didn't even have to use lasso for it. That's how easy playing this hero is in the early game. Right after killing AA, cut the creeps, take it over to that small camp. It'll also help increase your farm efficiency. I did mess up a little bit here. Always remember to get that last hit on the tower. It died a lot faster than I thought it was going to be, so I missed it, but minor details, I guess. Next, take control of the jungle and choke out the enemy carry. Kill the carry anytime he shows up in the lane. This ward in their bottom jungle is very helpful. It'll allow you to farm safely and kill the carry too when he wants to go farm the jungle creeps. So needless to say, this Terrorblade got absolutely destroyed this game. He's bottom 5 of the net worth, and I'm top 3. To be fair, he's pretty bad, but he showed up in lane, get a couple stacks of napalm, tossed my veil on him, knocked back with flame break, and easy lasso into death. I mean, that was pretty embarrassing watching that guy get destroyed. But right after you push the creep wave, kill their carry, just let your creeps hit the tower and farm whatever camps close by. This hero is so easy to play and so easy to farm with. Always remember to buy your clarities, which I already mentioned, just to help with mana regen, because early on you're not going to have a lot of mana regen items like Euls or whatnot. Okay, so this is a perfect example of what your farm pattern should look like in the mid game. We just won a great fight in the mid lane, so I TP'd back to base, grabbed all my regen that I needed, my 2 clarities, filled up my bottle. Then I teleported to a side lane, got the bounty runes, we got all 4 of them, and then just immediately went into farming creeps. Kill that creep wave, leave your creeps to hit the tower, and then just move straight into the jungle. This is a great way to farm. You'll notice I am top 2 on the net worth right now, way ahead of their Terrorblade, almost double his net worth, just because you can farm so fast with Batrider. This is kind of a neat trick too, so notice this. Wait a second. Still waiting. There we go. So I just hit both camps with Flame Break, and easy, just farm the small camp with Flame Break, and yeah, there you go. I even stacked it too. I'm pretty proud of that moment, to be honest, but I played Batrider a little bit too much. Okay guys, so this is the last clip I think I'm going to show you. I apologize in advance. I couldn't find the original file for this in Dota, so it's a old recording of it, and I'm voicing over it, so just bear with me. It's pretty bad. So this is pretty much the greatest example of late game Batrider. We're at 75 minutes, and we've been sieging high ground for like probably about a solid 15 minutes. I've been keep doing this, just teleporting back to base, teleporting back in, and just waiting for that lasso cooldown to come off. In the late game, you become more of a backline caster. You have to always remember those cooldowns. Also, always consider your Firefly duration. You don't want to get caught out in the middle of fights with no escape. When lasso's up, you have to initiate, and when it's down, you kind of play the edge of the fight a little bit. So lasso just came up, so I'm going to wrap around and look for a bit of initiation. I see the Mars invis, so I know he's going to cast something soon. So blink on him, get a good double lasso, and get away from that drow, because she's really scary right now. Use BKB, and they start buying back. So I back a little bit, we do a nice little reset. My Stark player is just chilling in the corner, doing his regen. Firefly is coming back up, so I'm going to be a little bit more confident because I can fly in and around the trees. I'm just sitting in the back line. I'm not initiating, I'm not flying over anyone. I'm just sitting in the back, casting spells, stealing kills with Dagon. Sorry, good guy in advance, but I'm just getting those napalm stacks up. This is a really hard game to play because there's an Abaddon, but you get the idea. Sit in the back lines, cast Flame Break, cast Flame Break, cast Sticking Napalm, and cast your Dagon. Just let your carries do the hard work when your lasso's down. Wow, you guys stuck around to the end. I'm so proud, and I can't thank you guys enough for watching the whole video. I know there's a lot of nonsense in this video. My video editing skills are still pretty subpar, but I really just want to emphasize how strong this Batrider build is. I hope you guys give it a shot in your pubs, and I hope it works out well for you, because it works every time for me. Again, guys, I can't thank you enough, and you know what to do if you want to watch more of my videos. Thanks again, and have a good one.